professional trainer on strategy, performance management, change management, and also leadership. Also a widely published writer on the same areas in the Kenyan media. The most notable publication is a monthly strategy column in a magazine titled Small and Medium Enterprise Today, which lasted for 5 years in 2013 to 2018. And during writing of that publication, I became influenced into writing 2 books. The first one is titled Career Dynamics in the 21st Century. The sub-theme is Unleashing the Human Performance Potential, which was first published in 2015. It attracted Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development, KICD, who in 2016 approved it for circulation in secondary schools in Kenya, and also used the same for architecture of the competency-based curriculum, CBC. As the book continued circulating in schools and other institutions, I was influenced to write yet another one titled Living Beyond Survival, sub-theme No More Tiptoeing in Life, first published in 2018. The second book attracted 2 forwards, one from a vice chancellor of a university, and the second from the CEO of Kenya Institute of Management. And the 2 forwards made the book quite attractive, and it also started circulating in schools and other institutions, just like Career Dynamics in the 21st century. What is the issue of interest today? Just about a week ago or so, I made a presentation in this forum regarding celebration of performance of my old school. And when I circulated that presentation in the forum of old boys of my school, one of them raised an issue. He actually became attracted to the bottom-up empowerment strategy that is aligned with what we have been doing for many years. Unfortunately, he compared it with the bottom-up economic model, which is well known in the political sector in the country, especially during this time we are experiencing campaigning for leadership in our country. But the thing is, the two are as different as day and night. And just for anybody who may not be aware of the difference, allow me to discuss bottom-up empowerment strategy, which came into our mind way back in 2007. At that time, we had just been accredited by the National Industrial Training Authority as workplace trainers in this country. Almost immediately after, a manufacturing company based in that industrial area, Nairobi, which was manufacturing many things, tiles and other accessories, became attracted to our strategy. And they were going through a lot of challenges, especially with regard to performance of their shop floor staff or junior staff who are based or mostly associated with the production system. Some of them had lasted even 30 years in the company and were about to be dismissed because of not just incompetence, but indiscipline. There were challenges of indiscipline, there were challenges of poor attitudes about work, about the company. There were challenges of communication, challenges of teamwork, and many others that are encountered on a day-to-day basis in an organization. So we were asked to formulate a training program for 2 days. We should be able to solve those problems as expected. And in September 2007, we only spent 2 days in the training program of those shop pro staff. And not long after, we were issued with a letter of appreciation because the management had already noticed substantial improvement. And that was actually very encouraging. And in February 2008, we were engaged by another company which was undergoing through some challenges. In fact, it had been threatened with deregistration by, it was actually an insurance company, and it had been threatened with deregistration by the Commissioner of Insurance because of inability to comply with what was required of the insurance companies. And based on the experience that we had had before, we told the company that it is best that we empower their staff through a bottom-up approach, whereby we were to start with the junior staff, mainly clerical staff, catering staff, office assistants, and others in the lower cadre in the organization. And the training took 2 days, and it came out extremely well. Why so? We had given some recommendations on what needs to be done after the training so that the company can benefit fully from the training program. And in April 2008, we were again called upon, this time to empower the middle level staff or supervisory staff, again for 2 days, on issues like communication, teamwork, personal development, things like organizational challenges, how this should be sorted out, and all that. And actually we covered almost everything that employees encounter on a day-to-day basis as they continue with their work. And again, it came out very well, and we gave, as usual, our recommendations on what needs to be done so that the company can benefit fully from the training program. And before the end of the year, we were again invited, this time, to empower the senior management. And it was quite interesting because all the recommendations that we had made when training the junior staff and also when training the middle level staff had been implemented, and the senior management staff were eager to understand what they were to take from the training. And after the training, again, we made recommendations of what needs to be done so that the company can benefit fully from the training program. And after that, not long after, we were summoned by the CEO of the company to go and collect a letter of appreciation for the execution of our training program now for the whole company. And alongside, he made a revelation. He actually said that he had been summoned by the Commissioner of Insurance to go and explain how his company had escaped the noose of liquidation, because another company which had been threatened in the same way, in fact it is called Blue Shield Insurance Company, had been sent or had ventured into liquidation, and I don't think it exists anymore. And that for us was quite encouraging. We realized that our bottom-up empowerment strategy was working very well. And almost soon after, this time is in 2009, this client of ours referred us to another insurance firm, actually this time an insurance broking firm, and which was employing about 50 staff or so. And they also wanted to benefit in the same way as our first insurance client had benefited. And again, we took them through the empowerment session of the junior staff, which lasted 2 days. Then middle level staff or supervisors, which again lasted 2 days. And by May, I think around May 2009, we also empowered the senior staff, and the training came out very well. And as usual, we continued giving our recommendations on what the company needed to do so that they can benefit fully from the training program. And over time, we continued following up to find out whether the company had implemented our recommendations, and we never got any positive feedback, or any feedback for that matter. They were just complaining that they are very busy. But 1 year after, as I continued following up, I was asked an unexpected question by the CEO. And the CEO wanted to know whether we had gone to train their staff on how to leave the company or how to become better performers in the company. I asked the CEO why raise that question. And I was told that a third of the employees had already left the company. And all I did was to ask the CEO, but you are also in the training program. How come you are still in the company? Yet others have already left. And did you actually implement our recommendations like we did in every session? And the CEO had no answer. And all I did was to forward a report on the training program once more. And the matter ended there. And I didn't revisit the issue of recommendations or no recommendations any other time. But what was surprising is that after some time, some senior management staff of the same company were sent to a training program on leadership of senior employees or senior staff, and we realized, wow. So after all, it is not that they were unhappy with our training program. It's only that they were not able to implement our recommendations for reasons only known to them. All the same, we became satisfied, very satisfied with our empowerment strategy, bottom-up empowerment strategy, and now treated it as an organizational culture change program which ran in many organizations, including government bodies. And along the way, we were monitoring what was happening in the organizations that we had been engaged in. And we noticed something that was unusual. Most of the organizations which were engaging new staff from other organizations or from the school system were going back to square one. The same problems that we were going to sort out, they now kept recurring. And now we had to go back and to the drawing board and see how those problems can be sorted out. And that is what led to writing Career Dynamics in the 21st Century, sub-theme Unleashing the Human Performance Potential in 2015. Remember, one of the challenges that we were solving is improvement of performance, because more than 80% of people who are employed, we had realized that they were dispassionate about the work they do. So our training programs were addressing those areas, and we realized that the graduates who are coming from the school system came up and continued with the same problems. And we noticed that the only way to solve that problem is now to have a way of venturing into the school system. And that was through Career Dynamics in the 21st Century, which we have discussed variously on how it works in the school system. All the same, in the publication, we have articulated two issues. One, when empowerment is from a top-down approach, performance transforms, or employees or organizations experience a transformation. That means just some improvements, nominal improvements. We have also indicated very clearly that once the empowerment follows a bottom-up strategy, then organizations experience a revolution in the performance, revolution of the mindsets, the thought process, and I want to imagine that is what is going to be achieved through the competency-based curriculum, because as it continues implementing the paradigms of the 21st century, it will mean that the thought process, the performance, and attitudes of people produced by the school system will never be the same again, and we expect performance to continue improving as time goes by, so that this will be in line with the global dynamics of the 21st century. I can discuss more and more on this, but for now, I encourage people to read Career Dynamics in the 21st Century, and also the advancement titled Living Beyond Survival, sub-theme No More Tiptoeing in Life. Also invite us for seminars or training programs, for institutions, for schools, so that we can improve performance in the human capital as we continue with the empowerment process or with performance in the workplace, so that we can reap the full benefits from the human capital. More is also available through our YouTube channel. Those who subscribe, they're able to get updates on a weekly basis as soon as we upload new information. And should you want to know more, contact us through 0772 516210 or 0722 516210. Thank you and have a very good day.